Hello everyone, I'm Spicy. Some time ago, I asked you all which character would you like to see an Inside the Tomb video on, and an overwhelming amount of you chose the God of the Dead, Anubis. Truth be told, I've discovered that a huge portion of this fanbase really likes this character, which may or may not have been partially due to a very popular video of mine I posted about a year ago, and for that reason we're going to break down everything Anubis related in this show. As always, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified for new videos. We're really close to 2,000 subscribers and I can only hit that milestone with your help. Like always, don't forget to join our Mummies Alive Discord if you want to meet more fans of the series. Without wasting any more time, let us dive into the story of the Mummies Alive version of Anubis. With Mummies Alive being a show about ancient Egypt and Egyptian mythology, it wouldn't make any sense not to include arguably the most popular ancient Egyptian god, Anubis. So let's take a look about how the art direction handled this ancient Egyptian deity. While many other deities in the show are different in comparison to their mythological counterparts, it seems like Anubis, even from the original concept designs, were determined to get a very accurate portrayal. Anubis resembles a humanoid jackal. His initial and final designs aren't that different. Noteworthy differences are different designs of his leg and arm armor, different footwear, and an additional piece of cloth wrapped around his waist. He was also initially a bit more muscular and with a wider head. Later, that got changed to a more slender body type with a signature black skin color, and red and gold was chosen as his main color scheme. This very accurate portrayal is most likely attributed to his popularity as an ancient Egyptian god. Actor Blue Kuma was chosen to portray Anubis, which you might have also heard in shows like Transformers Beast Wars and Reboot. As is the case with many other characters in the series, not much is known about Anubis' past. So, similar to my Bastet video, I'll take some time to discuss his origins from ancient Egyptian mythology before delving into his story within the series' canon. Being one of the oldest gods in the ancient Egyptian pantheon, his creation is a convoluted story, complete with many different figures being involved in it. Prominent figures include Ra, Nephthys, Isis, Osiris, Bastet, and even his series associate, Set. All of these gods have at some point been connected to Anubis as either a paternal figure or maternal figure, and it depends on what geographical region and chronological period of ancient Egypt we're looking at. So in order not to bother you with many confusing and contradicting theories, I will simplify his role in ancient Egypt. Anubis' characteristic black coloration isn't supposed to represent the jackal animal, but it's rather a symbolic metaphor for the fertile sediment of the Nile River, which beared great importance to the ancient Egyptians, as well as the skin color mummies used to adopt during the mummification process. In regards to mummification, his role as embalmer and protector of the dead was given in ancient Egypt, as jackals used to be present around burial sites, and the ancient Egyptians believed they acted as protectors of the dead. With that in mind, Anubis' role as protector of the dead and god of mummification was cemented. Despite his menacing appearance, and his portrayal in media being reflective of that, Anubis was actually beloved in ancient Egypt, giving ancient Egyptians hope about the afterlife and that their body would be treated with respect. With all that gotten out of the way, it's time to jump into his story in Mummies Alive. Anubis makes his first appearance in Pact to the Future, being summoned by Scarab alongside many other deities called the Trackers of Souls in order to hunt down and find Presley Carnovan and take him to Scarab. Anubis and the other gods managed to track him down to Yosemite National Park, where Presley was camping with his mother. After a long pursuit in the night, the Trackers corner Presley and are almost able to get him until the mummies show up and fight them off. Anubis engages into a sword fight with Rath, which he initially wins, but Rath overwhelms him with some magic, sending him back through the Western Gate. His next appearance is in Dog Bites Mummy. In that episode, Set wants revenge on the mummies for defeating him and sending him back through the Western Gate. During one of Scarab's ambushes, Set and Anubis make an unplanned appearance, also attempting to fight the mummies mid-ambush, a plan which fails. Set and Anubis are once again on a search for the mummies and Presley. Requiring some assistance, they briefly decide to team up with Scarab, but after his demands of keeping Presley alive, Set breaks off the deal and Anubis casts a forgetting spell on Scarab and Heka. Using the scent of the dust from the bandage of the mummies they got from Scarab, Set and Anubis make their way towards the Sphinx and eventually Presley's house, where they kidnap one of Presley's classmates and use as bait in order to make the mummies come towards them. The plan ultimately works, but not without a twist, as the mummies trick them into fighting, while Ja-Kal sneakily frees Presley's classmate. The mummies once again engage in a fight with Anubis and Set. Presley manages to trick Anubis into hitting Set with a beam from his staff. Nefertina then steals the staff from Anubis and uses it against him, knocking him out. The mummies then once again send both him and Set back through the western gate. In the face in the mirror, Anubis and Set make their return. In this episode, Set has a plan of bringing the Eye of Darkness, an all-powerful and evil being trapped inside a mirror, into our world. Anubis helps Set in discovering the mirror and setting up the ritual required to bring Set's plan in motion. The Eye of Darkness possesses Presley, him being an integral part of his plan, and makes him come towards them so that the ritual can begin. In the nick of time, however, the mummies fight them and briefly free Presley. However, Presley is transported within the Eye of Darkness' realm, and the evil entity attempts to make free of his prison. As it blocks out the light from the sun and prepares its entrance, Set and Anubis realize they might have been biting off more than they could chew. Set accidentally frees Presley from the mirror and puts a stop to the spell. Upon realizing that Set stopped his evil plan, the Eye of Darkness grabs a hold of both him and Anubis and traps them alongside him back into his world, as the mirror implodes in the process. Anubis and Set make their final appearance in Brother's Keeper. In this episode, they have been summoned by Scarab in order to bring him the mummy of Ja-Kal's brother, Rath, and bring him back to life. After a brief fight with the mummies, they make their escape, stealing Rath's mummy, but are unable to bring his sarcophagus with them. Anubis, Scarab, and Set then successfully revive him. However, with the sarcophagus being necessary in Rath's survival, Scarab demands from Anubis and Set to go back to the museum and retrieve it. Anubis then interrupts a fight between Ja-Kal and Rath, blasting Ja-Kal with his staff. The pair then once again gets into a fight with the mummies. As Anubis is about to deliver a blow to Rath, Nefertina and Presley, Set clumsily falls onto Anubis, and the energy from his staff sends both of them back to the western gate. Set and Anubis' voice would later be used by Scarab in order to bring Rath's son, Kimas, into the world of the living. And that basically concludes the story of Anubis in the series. Anubis has many different abilities shown in the series. Outside of his enhanced strength and durability, which is common for many characters in the show, Anubis also has an enhanced sense of smell and excellent tracking capabilities, being able to track down a scent across multiple locations and miles. Anubis is also very knowledgeable in magic and spells, even saying that he has twice of Rath's magic skills. Via magic, he's able to turn his fingers into blades, showing he has also excellent fencing skills, and even besting Rath when it comes to sword fighting. Although briefly shown, it's also implied that Anubis has some connection to the underworld and the undead, like his mythological counterpart, as he was needed from Scarab in order to bring Rath and Kimas back to life. Through his staff, Anubis unlocks a whole array of other skills. He's able to fire energy beams from his staff, capable of knocking down many opponents. The same beams are also able to put people to sleep and make them also lose their memory of recent events. Via the staff, he can also practice telekinesis, demonstrated by when he fires some weapons towards the mummies. He can also teleport while using his staff, in combination with Set's staff. Finally, his staff is also able to bring inanimate objects to life, but they only last until the user of the staff gets knocked out. It's also worth noting that he briefly got enhanced intelligence after being struck by lightning. Alongside Set, Anubis has the most appearances as an antagonist in the series, not accounting Scarab and his forces. A typical running gag in the series was Anubis getting constantly hit in the head. He's also shown performing and enjoying many dog-like behaviors, such as responding to the word sit, panting, and chasing cars.
How did a rat get here before us?
You had to chase that car, remember?
I'd have caught it too if you hadn't stopped me.
In Brother's Keeper, Anubis' eyes are colored green instead of the usual white color, with no explanation given to as to why, most likely being an animation error. In the show, Anubis gets less threatening with each one of his appearances. Unlike Set, he also rarely aims for the destruction of the mummies or plans an evil plot to destroy them or the world, and many times it seems like he fails on purpose. This has led many fans into theorizing about his true allegiance and whether or not he's truly evil, but that topic deserves its own video. It was revealed by producer of the series, Seth Kersley, that Anubis would have made an appearance in a possible second season of Mummies Alive, but no plot details have been given about his appearance. And that about covers everything we know about Anubis in Mummies Alive. He may not be the most deep-written character, but his many appearances certainly land with a lot of fans of the show. So what are your thoughts on Anubis? Do you have any theories about him, and would you have liked to see more of him? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. This type of videos take a long time for me to make, and I appreciate your support. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Until then, keep kicking that.